The rain is back in California, and boy, did we miss it. But it does impose a safety hazard on construction sites. But that's not what we're going to be talking about today. In construction, every project and job site are unique in more ways than one, even if your scope of work remains consistent. This is due to the job site location, the different subcontractors on site, construction workers with varying levels of competency and training, and much more. As a result of this, every job site will have its own unique set of hazards that may affect your workers, especially if they are unaware of these hazards. So what can we do to protect our workers when starting a new project? Developing and implementing a site-specific safety plan. Hi, I'm Sergio with A&H Safety, and in this video, I will go over some best practices for developing and implementing a site-specific safety plan for your job sites. If you're not sure where to start when it comes to developing a site safety plan for your projects, this video is for you. Now, this video is not intended to supersede or replace any regulatory standards out there, including those of general contractors that you may be working with. But instead, it's intended to provide some best practices used across the industry for developing site-specific safety plans. Before conducting any work on a new project and a new job site, a site-specific safety plan should be developed to maintain a safe environment. The plan should consider a work site's unique risk, the people who are or may be working on site, and the project objectives. This plan is essentially a written plan outlining the who, what, where, why, and when of the project. It should be completed for every construction project, and it outlines the entire scope of work and exactly how you're going to keep your employees safe. Site-specific safety plans are commonly required by the general contractor for a construction project. Subcontractors and tier subcontractors will then be required to either complete a site-specific plan for that project or agree to and review the site-specific plan the GC has developed for them. And this is all done before they mobilize or start work on the project. Now, whether a general contractor requires you to develop one or not, it's a best practice to develop one for all your job sites and projects. When it comes to developing and writing a site-specific safety plan, there is no one way to write it, nor is there a required format to follow, as each plan will differ depending on the type of project and the scope of work. However, each project will have some common general components, starting with an overview of the project. This will include the basic details of the project, including the company name, as well as the job location, address, and the start and completion dates. It should also include contact details for the management contacts, such as the foreman, the supervisor, project manager, superintendent, the competent person, safety representative, and so on. The scope of work detailing the specific types of work that will be performed on the project should also be included. Now, whether you'll be performing underground utility work or roofing work, be sure to be specific with the type of work that you will be doing. Now, this will be important when assessing the hazards your workers may be exposed to. The size of the crew that will be working on the project should also be included in this section as well. Okay, once you have the scope of work outlined, list the name, title, and phone number for the main safety contact or contacts on the job. It's important that your crew understands how and who to contact when any safety questions or concerns come up during the duration of the project. Next, it's a good idea to also outline the safety policies for medical services and first aid administration. This can include the location of the nearest hospital or medical facility, procedures for responding to an injury, names of those trained in first aid and CPR. It's also a good idea to designate 1 or 2 employees who will call medical services in case of an injury. They should also be aware of the job site location and how to give directions to the site, especially in remote locations, and trained in procedures for flagging medical services down. Now that you've completed that section, move on to the site-specific safety requirements section of the plan. Now, this section will be the heart of the site-specific safety plan, and it'll also be the reason why it'll differ from others. It should outline all the potential hazards as well as the safety procedures and measures in place to minimize any risk. In this section, you'll want to consider outlining PPE requirements, fault management if exposed to any fall hazards, special hazards, and considerations that might be unique to the specific project, such as confined spaces, hazardous environments, or respiratory dangers. It also outlines procedures for incident reporting and a step-by-step outline for responding to emergency situations and natural or man-made disasters. This is where site-specific plans will differ from one another, as these site-specific safety requirements will depend on the type of work being done for the project and hazards it imposes on the workers. Now that you've developed your site-specific safety plan, be sure that it is communicated to all affected employees. These plans are usually developed by the safety representatives of the company and or the company management team. That means all this information means absolutely nothing if it's not communicated to the workers it was written for. So be sure that everyone is well versed on the plan and what is expected of them to work safely throughout the entire duration of that specific project. I hope this video has given you a better understanding of what goes into developing a site-specific safety plan and how it can help keep your employees safe on the job site. If you have any further questions or need help developing a site-specific safety plan for your company, be sure to contact us using the information provided below. We would also love to hear from you guys in the comments. Do you have any tips or suggestions others should keep in mind when developing a site-specific safety plan? Also, be sure to follow us on all social media platforms to stay updated with our latest safety tips and tricks. And as always, until next time, be safe and thank you.